but this looks right. Okay, so let's say we wanted to analyze all the sales that have happened with a particular NFT. To do that, let's see, let's go here. Okay, so actually, okay, here. All right, so we want to query this. How are we going to do that? So we're going to say set sales data frame. We're going to set it to let's do data frame query, and we're going to use the same query as we used here. Well, actually, I mean, we're already getting these events since this is the default event type, so we don't have to do that actually at all. So really, we ought to just set this to sales data frame. Okay. Now we're going to convert it to an HTML file. So to do that, well, first we need to have some sort of columns array, and in here we're going to say we want the total price, it'd be nice if we had that, but we don't. Okay, here's the seller, quantity 1, okay, ID, any other useful pieces of information? I don't see it. Asset. Okay. You know what? That's where we're going to. We're just going to do two columns for now, just to show how this works. And here's our contract address, and then. Okay, actually, what we want to do is we want to. What do you want to do? Do we want to break it up, or do we want to group the data frame by the IDs? Maybe. Yeah, we actually do. So we're going to change this to NFT sales data frames, because we're going to group it. Oh, wait. All right. We're just going to keep that, and we're going to say NFT sales, or no, sales data frames is sales data frame grouped by you know what, we're going to create another filter called group by, and we're going to call it the perhaps it's the ID, maybe. Okay, so then we're gonna have another for loop for NFT sales data frame in sales data frames, and we're going to let's add a center right there, and we're going to call this we want to get the first value of the ID column. So to do that, okay, we're going to call this, I'm going to do header 3. Okay, I'm going to say NFT sales data frame ID, and then we're going to get, wait, actually, dot head, and then we're going to get the ID dot values and get the first one. There's probably some easy way to do that, but this is the one way I know. All right, then we're going to convert this to this data frame to an HTML table, and then we're going to add one of these guys, and oh yeah, and then we got to end the for loop again. All right, now let's try going to here, and then we want to, oops, we don't need that anymore, we don't need this anymore, and don't need that, okay. You know what, we're going to leave that there. That's pretty useful. All right, then I'm going to oh yeah, we got to add the group by filter. Group by, we're going to group this data frame by a particular column. Give the group by column, and then we're going to return gb.get group g for g in gb.groups. Okay, and then we gotta okay, well that was helpful. Okay, so we're going to render this to an HTML file, which then we're going to display in the browser. So I'm going to use this web browser library, which is pretty useful for that. So we're going to create a folder called, you know, actually we're not going to create a folder. We're just going to say with open output HTML. Let's see, we're going to write the file, and we're going to write this HTML content here. I'm going to close it, and then we're going to say web browser.open, and then we're going to open up that file. Okay, now let's try it. All right, so here are those 3 IDs. Cool. Now, what would be nice is if we can remove these numbers. So that's one thing we need to do, and then we need to convert these values to Ether, and we're going to leave these here. And then also we need to get so these numbers I don't find very useful. I'd rather get the actual the token ID. So to get that, we're gonna have to create some functions, to do all these things. So let us file's gonna be getting pretty big here. All right, we're going to get the token ID. That's going to be the first function we get. So token IDs. And then we're going to pass in the asset column, or it's going to be an assets series. Okay. Oh yeah, and then how are we going to get that? Okay, we're going to return trying to pull this guy back up. Asset. Oh, it's right there. Asset ID. Token ID. That's what we want right there. So to get that, why is there a 0 there? That's interesting. Where is... Huh. Well, that could be like the quantity. Like there might be a 1. If there was, if 2 were sold, then there would be a 1, but there's only a 0. But I don't know. It says approved account 0, 1, 2. Number of sales 3. 3. No idea what that means, but we'll figure it out. But we're just going to imagine that is the token ID. That's the value we want. Okay, so we're going to return a 0 and then token ID for A and assets. All right, now we're going to have we're going to change the name of this. We're going to call this assets to token IDs. And then our next function is going to be called ways to ethers. Okay, and then we're going to have our value here. What was it called? It was called total price. Interesting. Okay, I'm really curious to see what $61.72 7. Ah. Oh, duh. These are all the times it's been sold. I think. I think. Let's look at it in Cryptopunks here. Seven, 17, 6, 7, 17. 6, 7, 17. All right, that's what that means. Coolio. All right, so how do we... Okay, so asset. Ah, okay. So I'm very new to converting data frames to JSON files, and I guess that's how it works. So there's a column, and then the row, row, row. So there'd be 3 rows to this. That makes so much sense. So we do not want to get 0. We want to get token ID for A in assets. Okay, now total price. Okay, we're going to call this total prices to ethers. So we're going to call this total prices. So we're going to return, I think it's, I want to say it's web3 dot, how do we convert? Let's see, Python, web3. Okay, how do we convert from way? Okay, that's how we do it. And we're gonna convert it to ether. Okay. Okay. From way, I'm going to call this TP. I'm going to call this, we're going to say for TP and total prices. Okay. So we need to import web3. Okay. So we got to install web3. And then, so what was the one other function we wanted to do? Oh yeah, we wanted to remove that index column. So we're going to say index equals false. All right, now let us run this again. All right, that doesn't look right. Oh wait, because we didn't even apply the, yeah, we didn't even make the changes. We added the filters, but we didn't, you know. Okay, so we're gonna add this interesting function that I've added in previous programs of mine. We're gonna call this transform. So what this does is it converts. It's a function that basically it can take a list of transformation functions, but I'll show you. It's kind of complicated to explain. So we're going to call this transformations for T and transformations. we're gonna say, what is it? Okay, yeah, we're gonna pass in a data frame, and then we're gonna say df dot. We're gonna evaluate it, and we're gonna say t. Okay, we're going to do that, and then we're going to return that data frame. Cool. So then let's add it here. Cool. Now, what are we going to do? Let's see. Okay, so we're going to put the transform function up here. And we want to do it here. So let's see. Data frame from records, and then transform, and it's going to be a list. And then we're going to have a ether is equal to let's do total prices to ethers, and we're going to pass in the total price column. Next one, we're going to have what else were we going to do? Assets to token IDs. So token token ID is equal to assets to token IDs. We're going to pass in the asset. I believe it's asset. Yeah. Was there any more? Any more that we're forgetting? I think that's it. Okay, so that is it with our transformation function. Alright, so now what we can do is we're going to change the columns to token ID, and we're going to keep quantity there, and let's make this ether. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to work. Okay, where did we get this error? Between string and integer. So does it have to do with, does this have to be an integer? Perhaps. There we go. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to end this video and start a new one because I want to make sure that my videos aren't way too long, and so I'll see you guys on the other side.